and germs. Welcome back to the Pick It and Flick It podcast. That's our laugh track.
No, that was the
it was like
Angel's
angels coming down. This is the 9th installment of the Extravaganza Halloween special. What did we watch today, Vox?
Oh man.
Oh, I'm Luke.
Oh.
I'm usually the sidekick.
See, we're getting antsy here.
I know. We're just getting right into it.
I'm Vox.
I'm Natasha.
Hi.
What did we watch?
The sequel to the last movie. Oh my God.
Right.
The Devil's Rejects. Rob Zombie.
Correct.
God Almighty.
Oh boy.
I feel like we're gonna argue a lot on this one. This could be a longer one.
God forbid someone didn't, which they should have seen the last episode. What did you think of House of Thousand Corpses? Just give us a brief little.
So just
give us like a log line.
A quick recap.
Okay.
I liked it until about the end. It went downhill, but needless to say, I rethought my decision on the scores, and I ended up changing from a flick to a pick, and I bumped it up 1 point on the number scale from a 6 to a 7 because I let it soak in a little bit after watching it, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Other than that, yeah.
I can dig it. I think I'm a little more harsh on it than you were.
Yeah, you're a little more brutal, man.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of stuff I really dig. A lot of stuff that thankfully carried over from the first into this one. And aside from the end kind of completely falling apart, I like 1,000 Corpses well enough. And I can understand why it's gone on to be such a cult classic.
Yeah.
And something you gotta, everyone's gotta see if you enjoy these sort of movies. But Tosh, what did you think of 1,000 Corpses?
Of 1,000 Corpses?
Not the body parts. Come on now.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Okay.
I mean, I thought it was decent enough. It's definitely worth the watch, but...
So that's just... Go back and listen to the first episode.
Yeah, we talked about it.
The 8th episode. Go back to listen to the 1,000 Corpses
I was
review.
Say, the podcast on
the one before
1,000
this video. So that way you understand a little bit more when we start breaking down the comparisons from the first movie to this one. Luke, you want to start us out?
Okay.
On how this movie story unfolds.
Well, I don't have as much as I did for Corpses.
How dare you?
But obviously this movie ditched a lot of the stuff that the first movie really seemed to enjoy doing. A lot of the wacky visuals are gone.
Yes.
And I guess the dirty feel, I would
say.
Very
clean feel.
This movie felt like almost a Wild West sort of thing.
I was almost getting a weird slasher vibe from it.
Yeah. So they definitely it's what it seems like they're doing with that new Suicide Squad movie, where you're taking characters that were in a really bad, not terrible, whatever, and you're putting them into a better movie. I'll
really
say.
Painful to watch you struggle through that sentence.
But yeah, that one, people were clamoring for more, so they brought the three from hell, huh? And brought them back, and they're up to some shenanigans.
Good reference. So we start seeing, basically, as I understand it, bodies have been still coming up missing, just like they were in the first movie. And the coppers have had enough of it, so they go out to the good old farmhouse and start shooting holes in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat, this is where my discrepancies with movies like this start coming in, because we understand that Otis and the family have been engaged in engaged in not only murder, rape, and pillaging, but also like some kind of satanic ritual. And
they really just hit the crazy person bingo sheet. All around.
But that was in the first movie, so we are kind of expecting that. At least I was expecting that to come into the second movie, and we all of a sudden see these idiot rednecks dressed in metal that look like I could piss through because they're made of paper mache. But they're deflecting shotgun bullets and fully automatic rifles shooting through their house. So I was really excited to see that. And, I don't know. That immediately, to me, put a bad taste in my mouth.
Okay.
On top of that, They replaced the chick who plays the mom. Why
Yeah.
is it a new actress?
I can tell you.
Please do. I was fucking hoping you would be able to.
It's exactly what you would think it is. The actress who I just said her
Black. Her last name's Black.
Karen Black.
Yes.
Who played Mama in the mother, whatever, in Thousand Corpses, wanted more money, and this movie had a lower budget, which is almost never what happens for a sequel, especially of this caliber.
And it shows.
I don't know if I agree.
so.
I don't agree with that.
Yes, it
but she wanted more money, and Rob said, "Can't do that. I don't have it." So she was replaced by a woman named Leslie Easterbrook, who somehow made this character even more annoying this time around.
So she's better looking than the first mom, but she's not as good at being creepy and trying to be seductive.
I agree with you 100%.
I think that, I mean, obviously you're saying that the budget, she wanted more money, but I think a good replacement for her would have been Jennifer Coolidge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stifler's mom. Yeah.
Obviously, her budget would be way too high for this movie. But
could you imagine Jennifer Coolidge in this movie doing the same shit? Well, here's another thing I think is why we see her as a lot more obnoxious is Thousand Corpses, when you break it down, a lot of the characters are just downright fucking annoying.
Yeah. Yes.
So if her performance was in that movie, it would fit 100%.
I agree.
But this one definitely tones it back in a lot of ways, and a lot of more outlandish shit I feel like kind of got pushed away. I don't know if that's because there were more people saying, "Hey, Rob, maybe you shouldn't have people yelling all this shit all the time."
Yeah.
Or what?
But the problem with that, in my opinion, is you've already set a tone for your style, and this is a trilogy. Obviously, as we know that there's a next one after this, 3 from Hell, but it's at least
somehow.
Yeah, right. But
consistent.
when Devil's Rejects came out, you at least knew that this was a sequel to Thousand Corpses. We knew that going into the movie. So why are you all of a sudden changing the style, at least, of a character is beyond me. I'm pissed that this is a different actor, okay? I don't like when movies do that. It's annoying to me. However, at least keep the actress in the same character mindset.
Okay.
She was in the first movie. She was flaunting her titties out. She was kind of like real seductive.
Fox is mad that she didn't show her breasts enough.
They're both gross, okay? They're both gross-looking people. I don't think either one of these women are attractive. However, the character was really good in the first one. Yes, annoying, but I think they did a really good job of, showing the insanity in the family. This chick is just like, "You'll never catch me alive, coppers," and goes to shoot herself in the head, and it's like, shut up.
She's like that. She's like that girl that always needs attention.
I hate it.
That's how I feel like she played it.
Really bad.
Yeah, definitely the worst performance in the movie. Nothing else is really jumping out at me.
No. Awful.
But the Texas Chainsaw Massacre comparisons continue, Mr. Vox, because
let's hear.
Everyone's favorite Texas Chainsaw 3D.
No, stop it.
The best movie in the franchise.
Oh, yeah, throwing a 3D saw through the goddamn...
Well, you didn't let me finish. If you're blind, deaf, and can't enjoy things, that might be your favorite. But the opening to that movie is directly ripped from this movie.
Offensive. Okay.
I forgot. I honestly forgot.
Oh, my God.
That this is how the Devil's Rejects open. I knew, like, obviously it was the farmhouse and they get blasted out.
Now. Yeah.
But I didn't remember how TCM 3D took the exact same concept.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure Bill Moseley's in that scene.
Yes.
Is in Texas Chainsaw 3D also.
Yes.
So no way that motherfucker didn't notice.
No. They knew.
They knew what they
were doing.
But yeah, maybe that's also why I really like the opening of this movie, is I've seen how it can be done much worse.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, seeing them have to escape, and then even Mama gives a little moment where she's like, "You ain't gonna get me, fuckers." Like, yeah. I don't know. I like the opening to this movie. It really sets it as not quite as stupid, I guess, as Corpses, but it is still gonna be really fucking savage.
So, I don't know.
Is it classy, bougie, and ratchet?
Stop it.
I don't understand that reference.
Yeah, we're not getting into that. I'm gonna reflect back on the note that you had said in the beginning, is that it lost its grotesque. It lost its really dirty, grimy feel to it, and that to me no longer makes this a movie that can be related to the first one. We have Otis with a beard now, which is fine, but he's not fucking creepy and gross. He's just pissed off.
But
he's just a pissed off redneck.
So I think that he's not as creepy because he's talking more in this movie. And he didn't really talk a lot in the last movie.
He had a fuckload of lines in the last movie, but the big
they were broken up.
Yeah, the big talking points was when we got flashbacks of like the home footage that he was making, and because he was filming himself torturing people and then talking to the camera like a psychopath, In this movie, he was just like he just seemed like a angry man on a mission to kill, instead of like torture and stuff. And yeah, we do see like, oh, he's still crazy because he's laying with a naked dead body, in his bed. Who's obviously.
Well, I mean, I think Otis does one or two other things in this movie that I would kind of say put him in the asshole department. We'll get there.
No, asshole department 100%. Just not psychopath anymore.
What?
I don't know. I don't know about that,
dude.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna have to say that's a no from me.
If you're saying when he cuts the guy's face off and wears it as mask,
I'm talking about 18 other things that happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll continue.
Also, if you took a shot every time one of the rejects swore, you'd be dead before the title card came up. That was just something else I noticed.
Yes.
We'll get back to the swearing in a little bit, I'm sure.
My next notes jump a little bit in the movie, so
mine do as well.
I just have one that says Sideburn City for the cops.
Oh, for the cops.
some real nice mutton chops going on,
and some handlebar mustaches.
Yeah. So I don't know what testosterone they got going on in the water there, but I might have to move because they got some really defined facial hair going on in this flick.
When are these movies supposed to be taking place?
Well, this one takes place in 1978.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other one, I think it was a couple months before that. So.
Yeah, because they referenced Elvis Presley dying.
Well, yeah, because in the first one, Spalding's got the tattoo of John Wayne. Who the fuck is getting that after
my papa?
Whenever,
yeah. You were to get a tattoo.
John Wayne was a bad motherfucker. I'm not just denying that, but you don't see tattoos of that these days.
No.
My next note jumps to when we see Spalding driving a truck.
I love his truck.
I have one before he's driving.
That? Okay.
Because there was that sex scene, in his dream.
Oh,
and you were saying that they were actually having sex.
Yeah, so I was doing research on movies. Okay, what happened was I was on YouTube and I went down the rabbit hole. And
you got caught.
In the top 10.
Watch Mojo
came on.
Oh,
and
fuck.
And it was top 10 movie scenes where they're actually doing it. And that was on.
Was that lady in the room when it was happening? How does she know?
Right. So it was, there was like a couple that was rumored that they're actually doing it, and then like an honorable mention, which was like it was never conclusive, but we do think that it happened because. Well, if you
it looks like it.
Well, if you look real close, you can see his balls bouncing off this chick's fucking ass. So I'm like,
that's method as fuck.
So I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe they're actually fucking. Like it's possible.
And she had no underwear on.
Yeah, because you could full-fledged vag coming up on that bitch too. So, not a tasteful booty mark for me on that.
I was gonna say, have we added tasteful vag marks either?
No.
I was gonna say I don't think those are gonna come up frequently enough to justify the counter.
So yeah, good job bringing that back up because I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, that made me so uncomfortable, and like just him like his teeth and like how nasty he is. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, if one thing stayed the same or even got even more gross, which props to Rob Zombie for, is Spalding's teeth.
I was gonna say, I wonder what the teeth budget was for this movie.
Oh man, that's like a 3-cent fucking bottle of dye that they can just smear on there as much as they want. I used to do that.
Have
stuff
them eat a bunch
of
black licorice and just not.
It's like when you get a Slurpee and then your teeth are blue for the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's probably what happened.
That's probably the best. Yeah. So yeah, my note following that scene is when he drives away. He's in the truck, and this is the one shot that really stuck out to me.
Okay.
We're in the passenger seat looking at Spalding, and you can see the side of his face here, and then the other side of his face in the rearview mirror. And I really, really liked that that shot. It was really cool.
That's a good example to what I think I was trying to get at last time, where like you can tell he's got all these ideas, but
He's just
like
trying to get him out somehow.
I think he needs a second person. That's what I think Rob Zombie would really benefit from, is someone to go in and say, that's great. Maybe we don't need the grotesque sex scene where we see balls and
Right.
and all this and all this shit. If you want to leave it in, by all means. I'm not gonna judge your art for that.
Sure.
But I don't know. I think if we had a second guy, I think Rob Zombie's the quality of his movies would probably improve quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those George Lucas things where if you give everyone the
They
control,
didn't know. Yeah, they didn't know.
who knows what you're gonna get.
It's not like they knew that, hey, this movie's going to be a huge hit. We're going to want to do 2 more.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you're saying, the George Lucas syndrome or effect.
Well, Captain Spaulding's car troubles throughout the whole movie are hilarious. He's really just having a hard time. Then he's gotta steal the car.
Yeah, so my next note on that, though, is Spaulding is now annoying and cringy.
Oh, no.
Because I feel like before he was real, like, I don't
Quirky?
know. Yeah, quirky.
He was cool.
And kind of like, yeah, like,
He's cool.
I
Yeah,
want to be your friend, but get the fuck out of my office, you know?
Well,
like,
the first movie, I felt like he wasn't the bad guy until the very end.
Yeah.
And I felt like he was just some like
He
weird
was
guy
like a quippy anti-hero kind of thing going on.
And he was just, and like you said, he just kicked the people out, and he's like, I'd love to stay and chat, but get out, and it just seemed like
he was funny and quick-witted.
Yeah, he seemed like a decent human.
The first 2
But
scenes we see
obviously that was
Spaulding
proved
in
wrong.
this movie is he's fucking a prostitute in his dream, and then headbutting or punching a mom for her car and yelling.
Well, you know who that was? That's PJ Souls, who was Linda in the original Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
She was also in the original Carrie. She wore a red hat.
Oh, wow.
I don't even know if she had a name in the original Carrie.
Imagine that.
Red
But she
hat.
wore a red hat.
Red hat girl.
One hat could change the entire course of your acting career.
It got you a job in Halloween where you say totally a bunch of times.
That, to me, though, did not fit Spaulding's character. Like, from what I saw in the first movie to what I was expecting in the second movie, I was bummed about that.
Yeah.
I was like, no, stop it.
Okay.
Yeah. Be a creepy clown like she started to be, and then he just assaulted someone and screamed at a kid. So I was just like, okay, yeah, you're a bad guy.
He got
but-
mad.
Yeah.
He got real mad.
I mean, I feel like this movie is kind of showing these people out of their element. Because they're used to being at home, and they're used to being able to kill whoever they want.
Flying by the seat of
And-
their pants this time around.
Yeah, and now they're running from the cops, and they're
That's a good point.
escaping. So they're out of character for themselves. So that's why the characters seem so much different in this movie than they did in 1,000 Corpses.
I can respect that.
Well,
That's a good point.
I don't know about you guys, but I thought Baby and Sherry Moon Zombie was much less annoying.
Yes, I liked her 1,000% more
Yeah.
in this movie.
This
Yeah.
I can understand why people enjoy her. Like, I kind of forgot. It's been a minute since I revisited these in full.
Okay.
And she was insufferable for quite a bit of Corpses. And this one, I was like, okay, I'll give you a pass.
Okay.
Yeah, like she was still, like, I don't know.
She had her moments, where it was like, okay, all right, let's dial it back a little bit.
Yeah, she
but,
was still herself, but she still made it like, I don't know. She wasn't as over the top. I think that she watched 1,000 Corpses and was like, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to be that annoying.
I was annoying. So that leads from Spaulding taking the car. That kind of leads to where Baby uses her sexuality to get what she needs, and they end up taking this band of traveling musicians hostage, which leads into my next note. Do you have any notes before that scene?
No.
Okay, Tasha. Okay, my next note is soft horror porn ? Not a fan.
The hotel scene.
I just okay.
Yeah, I was. Really
I wrote it was brutal. That's all I got.
There is, I think, a small niche part of horror where we always have to see a pair of titties. You know, we see it in Texas Chainsaw. We see it in.
If you named a list,
you know what I mean.
We could get to
though?
100 before you knew it.
You know what I
There's
mean. Though?
infinite.
There's always
Yeah.
there's here's a 12-second scene of boobies. End of story. We move on. They get killed. This is more like almost gun rape. You know?
Yes.
And I just
Yeah, like let's make you uncomfortable.
But this movie is already making viewers uncomfortable. Why? And I get the Rob Zombie. I want to make people like upset and really want to push the boundaries on stuff. But
he's replacing that with.
I just feel like it's porn.
Not having all the gore, as much gore as 1,000 Corpses.
Yeah, but get a couple of 5-gallon buckets of fucking fake blood at Halloween USA.
We're gonna get. I got a bunch of number facts here, and you'll see why.
Okay.
With the blood.
So that pissed me off, and I literally don't have another note until another part in the movie that is way beyond this,
okay, because I wrote Otis is a cocksucker, but played so well.
Yeah.
It's hard also because obviously I'm a huge horror nerd, and I watch the behind the scenes stuff, and I a lot of times feel like I know these people.
Yes.
And from all the interviews I've seen and all the behind the scenes stuff, Bill Moseley seems just like the nicest guy of all time. Spoilers for the video I'm writing. He has a cameo bit part in Army of Darkness.
Oh yes. I forgot about that.
And even in that interview, he wrote Sam Raimi and was like, "I'm just a huge fan. Is there any way I could be in the movie? I'll do whatever you want." Aww. So like,
sweet.
Seeing that stuff, you're like, "Oh, Bill Moseley's a nice guy." And then you see a 3-minute scene of him torturing this lady, and you're like, "Oh, but you're a fucking asshole."
Did you go see him when he was at Astronomicon 3 or whatever?
No, I didn't.
Because he was there.
Right. I didn't even have a chance to go.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you'd win or not.
Nope.
Yeah, he was there.
Oh.
Which is a long story short, was a horror movie con.
Something like that. Tom Atkins was there.
Yeah, a bunch of different
C.J.
people.
Graham.
Yeah.
Tom Atkins is in Halloween 3, and C.J. Graham is Jason in Part 6.
Yeah, I knew that.
Okay.
Because he's a wrestler? Was he a WWE guy?
He might be.
Big dude.
He's a big dude.
Big dude.
He was going to come back for 7 until Kane Hodder got cast.
Oh.
Everyone was kind of on board with that, but I think John Carl Buechler, the director, was like,
Nah.
I want Kane Hodder,
Yeah, okay.
which I think was a fucking phenomenal choice, but that's a different discussion.
Sure. Anyway, so back to it.
Yes.
Bill Moseley, great guy. And then he...
Terrible character.
Yeah.
Well,
Then he shoves his-
terrible morality-wise.
Yeah.
He's played terrifically, I think.
Yeah.
I think so.
Again, falls flat on the grotesque side in
Aside from a few moments,
okay,
I'd say.
and I guess this is where you were saying like, I disagree with you on the psychopath part, because this is obviously borderline, criminally insane, if not already there. But I guess the psychopath part of me was more like, I'm just gonna scalp you while you're
psychopath part of me.
like wanting.
If I were a
part.
serial killer on a cross-country adventure, what would I be doing?
Right.
Where's John Quinones to come out and ask, what would you do?
What would you do here?
Oh my God.
So for me, I was more like, okay, I'm expecting him to scalp these people, not rape these people with a gun and then cut his face off and give it to the wife. I don't know. I'm just a little bummed about how weird that scene was. It just didn't fit for me.
Well, since we're on Otis, later on when he says, "I'm the devil and I'm here to do the devil's work,"
Nice line.
where did that remind you of?
Oh man, a couple of different things.
Well, that is a modified line that Tex says not only in the real life Manson murders, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh,
how about
really?
that? Yeah.
I didn't even put that together.
So go watch our Once Upon a Time in Hollywood episode. If
Yes.
you'd like our thoughts on that movie.
That was a while ago.
Yeah,
let's do it.
See how
I
I
think
just
am I on that one?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But did you see how I just seamlessly put that plug in there?
You're not supposed to drop the plugs like, oh, I put a plug in. You're
This
supposed to
is
just let it
sponsored
happen.
by Raid Shadow. No.
Oh man. So good plug.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
I know. I'm learning.
so proud of you. I didn't even put that connection together, but honestly, I think that was I have that is the best line in this movie.
It's just that upwards angle and just everything
Yep.
about it is like, ooh.
Best line in the movie,
Yeah.
hands down. Going into the escape scene where baby accidentally lets one of them go for a hot minute. God damn it. I am mad about this.
Why are you mad
because
about this?
There's a CGI knife and CGI blood that is used, and it really upsets me.
There's quite a bit of CGI blood if you're looking for it.
Yeah, it really upsets me. And, to be honest, I can't imagine that is a cheaper way to go on a production level than a couple of 5-gallon buckets of fake blood from
'Cause
Halloween USA.
As you and I both know, as well as Tosh, I'm sure, practical effects always looks better.
Yes, dude. That was shit. I was so mad about that.
CGI dates itself almost instantly, no matter how good it is.
Yeah, because technology grows so quickly.
Right, and especially in a movie like this where the tone is supposed to be like gritty and realistic, I really think that was a bad choice to do
So
that.
bad. I mean, knife throw, cool execution. CGI wise, fuck yourself. I'm sorry. It would look bad and it looked tacky, and it ruined the good, like a really good murder scene.
Yeah,
It ruined it.
Her wanting to shoot her in the ass was also fairly interesting.
Yeah,
which
right.
brings back that.
Yes, that wasn't the tasteful booty part though.
Oh,
there is one tasteful booty marker in here.
Oh, I was talking about. I thought we were talking about when she's fucking with Gloria, and then she ices her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I wasn't talking about that. But
Jumping
I'm on
all
board with
over.
that.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that.
Okay. Well, Ken Foree's in this movie also.
Who?
Ken Foree, the
Who?
guy from Dawn of the Dead.
Who? Yeah.
Goddamn bastard.
That's
You
the
know
first,
who he is.
That's the first thing I said to her. I was like, that was the preacher man in Dawn of the Dead.
He's also in Texas Chainsaw 3.
Right.
Since I just can't seem to stop talking about that franchise.
You just love them.
Well, that's all I can fucking think of when I watch these movies is
a lot of inspiration from both sides.
Which I think we've talked, I don't know if on the podcast or not, but
No.
I really think it was a missed opportunity that Rob Zombie didn't do Texas Chainsaw Massacre and did Halloween instead.
I agree with you.
I don't know why.
So
yeah,
gross,
yeah,
man.
he really had, I think he's got the taste for it, if you will.
Yeah, it could have been really gross. What's your next note if we're going through the timeline here?
Oh, well, if we're talking about what's his face.
Yeah, jump in. Let's go. Let's hear what you got, lady.
The girl that played Candy.
Oh.
I knew she looked
Oh.
familiar, and so Vox looked her up, and she.
The second I saw her name, I knew who she was.
She was the voice of Tommy Pickles and
Yes.
Timmy Turner.
And Timmy
Yes.
Turner. I
And
can't
she was
believe
in
it.
like Powerpuff Girls and a
Yeah,
bunch of.
she was Buttercup.
Yeah. Oh my God,
This
that
is
was
the voice
crazy.
of Buttercup,
I was
yeah.
like, she's in a fucking Rob Zombie movie, and she's voiced so many Cartoon Network characters.
And she uses
and
that same
Nickelodeon
voice, yeah.
characters.
And everything. I know. it,
Exactly.
which is great.
Oh my God.
I got her confused with with that chick who played who voiced Timmy Turner. If you know who I'm talking about.
She does do
No,
Timmy Turner.
that's a different lady.
Oh, she doesn't do.
Oh, I
Timmy
thought
Turner?
you-
No,
Timmy Turner.
no, the one in this movie, Tommy Pickles and
Buttercup.
Buttercup. The other chick who
Oh, okay. Well, I'm wrong.
who I
Sorry.
could tell you in one moment.
Dude, I swear.
Tara Strong is her name.
Is it? I
She
think it's
she
Tara.
voices Bubbles on Powderpuff Girls. So that's
okay.
where the confusion comes.
Oh.
They're also fairly attractive blonde women, so that also helps.
Yeah, they aged well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Does the movie critic guy come in before or after the pimp scene? Do you remember the movie critic guy?
The guy whose my note is Mark is how I feel when I talk about movies with people and I don't like it.
Yeah.
That's my note.
That's really funny though. That guy, why was he in this movie? Can you please explain to me why he was in this movie?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Okay, so if they're trying to figure out like the connection, like, oh, cool drop, oh, he's Animal Crackers movie, like, okay, the Machete, what's his name? What?
In the movie?
Yeah, well, just
Danny Trejo is his real name.
Yeah, thank you. His crew could have found out any connection of names as they did later on in the movie,
And they were just those guys were cool too.
dude. Listen,
I thought it was just a way to like drop in a reference or kind of make it seem like they're investigating it
yeah, I hated it.
somehow. I mean, I didn't mind it, but I also didn't think that the expert needed to come in.
He was also hamming it up quite a bit.
He talks about like all of his bullshit movie knowledge. Like, good for you. He
Literally
he
me in
had-
conversation.
He had to have known someone. Like, that's my only excuse for
He
him to
won
be
like a mail-in
placed.
sweepstakes. Like, be in this movie.
I'm pretty sure that guy had more lines than Otis in the first movie. I mean, and he has more lines in both movies than Tiny, and Tiny's part of the family. So we got a real problem here. I hated that guy. It was a big, like, I put movie critic character equals cringy.
Yeah, he was something. But I don't care what you say. He makes me laugh every time I watch this movie. He's just hamming it up. Like he's in like a. Do you ever see Toxic Avenger?
No.
If you've ever seen that movie, he's ripped right out of a movie like that. Where
Why
it's
would I
just,
have seen that movie?
I don't know. Michael Berryman's in this movie also, who's in The Hills Have Eyes. The guy with the weird face.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, he's Hills Have Eyes. He's another.
I couldn't figure out where the hell I knew him from.
Yeah,
Hills Have Eyes.
he's also in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
They just put it on Netflix, guy. Get your fucking shit together.
Listen, man.
But
got
yeah,
other
this
shit to watch.
movie has quite a horror alum watching it back.
Yeah.
So nerds like me are like, hey, I know that guy.
Yeah. We watch movies.
I've seen it. I've seen a few. But Danny Trejo, literally my note is seeing Machete in any movie makes me smile. So
Yeah, right.
I don't even
He was
care.
in Spy Kids. So
He was in Spy Kids.
Let's be
We
real
need to
here.
do Spy Kids 3 because that might be the best movie of all time.
Oh boy. Tosh, what's your next note?
I don't have any more notes.
You don't have any more notes.
That is end of notes
What's
for Tosh.
It's because she was very enthralled in the ending of this movie.
Yeah, the ending is my note for the ending is one of the best endings in cinematic history. Had it not been from 3 from Hell.
Right.
This okay.
Before we get there, hold on, because
Yes.
I have a couple notes before. that.
Okay.
Long story short, for those who are following along with the story here, crazy cop man kills mom in jail.
Yep.
And then makes it a mission to kill the rest of them. Hires Machete to go and kill some other people to make sure that he can get to these rednecks so the bad cop guy can kill him.
Well,
Okay,
the cop
great.
is, I don't know if you picked
Yeah,
up
the
on
brother
this, is
of
the
the-
brother.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, the
I
brother
can't
of
remember
the
if they
first
said it or not. But,
They do.
yeah.
Because
Okay.
my next note is, wow, 2 dream sequences in one movie? Yuck.
Yeah. I if it ain't an Elm Street movie,
Yeah, stop it.
Don't do a
Stop
dream
it.
sequence.
So from there, bad cop gets crazy redneck family into their old house and starts torturing them. And this is my note. I really love how weak they are at this point.
Yes.
Like how weak-willed. They torture, rape, and murder, but when it comes to them being locked up and tied to chairs, they cry and beg for mercy like little babies.
Do you get what they're doing?
Yeah. Yeah, and I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like showing that, hey, they're kind of human still.
Yeah.
And, they're still able to be hurt, but then they bounce back, because they're just crazy.
Right.
So, thumbs up for me.
Yeah, I mean, this movie especially does what I call the Dexter model
Yes.
of how far can we push it to make these characters do horribly terrible things, but you still are like, well, I want to see them get through this, you know?
Right.
And I think this movie does it not only the best out of Rob Zombie's movies, it's up there, I would say, as like some of the best, making me care at least a little bit about some of the worst characters
Yes.
I've ever seen.
So we also have going towards the end of it some references to the first movie. Baby gets out. She gets let go while Spalding, who, we failed to mention this, is the dad of Baby.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Otis, because we hear her call him in the very beginning and say, Daddy, you got to come over here because they're screwing us, and we're going to get killed. And I was like, wait, what?
You had a real Darth Vader moment there, huh?
But the problem is it was poorly executed.
Yeah, and it's not really talked about
No.
again.
No. So again, pissing me off because I do like some answers. Anyways, she gets out. She's running around the same yard in the same area that we saw the people in the bunny suits running around in the first movie, and he is screaming, "Run, rabbit, run!" So we kind of get a nice little nod to the first movie, and at least we know that is existing still in the timeline because this one's very different.
And
in
if
my
you
eyes.
somehow haven't seen Corpses, it's not like I'm confused.
Right.
It's not like down your throat. Like, hey, you remember that line from the first one?
Right.
Which I always like.
So I'm gonna go off on a tangent real quick.
Please allow us.
But I want to make mention before we get to the tangent that Tosh called this next part, which was really cool because she was like, "I'm waiting for this to happen," and then it did happen.
Oh, when
but
she got-
no, don't say it.
Okay.
Don't say it because I want to explain what thought was going to happen and what I wanted to happen.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. Okay.
So she's running away. She's getting in trouble and almost gets killed. And I really wanted her to jump down the well that we see the people go into in the first movie, run through the catacombs, go down to where Dr. Satan is, and get the big bad guy who screwed himself in the ending of the first movie, which we now know his name is what, the Professor.
Yeah.
The guy with the axe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So
Yep.
and they have lots of patients down there. They had a lot of like fucked up people. So I wanted them to like tie that knot back in with one of the most mysterious characters that we were talking about in the first movies, Dr. Satan, and bring it back up to light and have them be rushed to victory with all these crazy ass mutant people.
Well, I've got something for you on that one as well.
Okay.
Dr. Satan
Yes.
originally had a subplot that was cut out.
Of course.
And the reason was because Rob Zombie said, and I quote, "That would be like having Chewbacca and Bonnie and Clyde," which I get because he doesn't fit with this movie.
But how many movies have we seen in recent years that have like this crazy plot twist ending connection that don't fit at all but somehow works and it was appreciated, you know?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I still feel like he could have made it work. It's Rob Zombie's universe. It's still fucking weird, but I feel like it could have made it work. That's what I wanted to happen.
Okay.
It didn't happen. End of story. I'm sad about it. But Tosh, you called it.
Oh, I said I'm just waiting for Tiny to come.
Oh, yeah.
And literally
okay.
as she said that.
Yeah, there he was.
Because they left him, and they were like, Tiny, and they were like freaking out about how they left him. And I was
Which
like,
is
he's still
fucked
gotta
up.
be around.
Come on.
Because they never showed him dying, or they never showed the police finding him or anything, so I knew he had to be somewhere.
I thought you were talking about when the chick gets hit by the car. When she's wearing for some reason she just refuses to take off the skin
yeah,
face.
what
That
is
was
with
another
that?
thing. I was like, why is she not? Because her arms were completely
That's like
free.
I could understand if she was restrained,
Right.
but
I was like, why is she not taking off her husband's skin on her face?
because we've got to have the jump scare gets hit by a truck moment.
But you knew she was gonna get hit.
Well, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's
She
like
was
she walked
running in the
road.
middle of the road,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then someone ignored her, and then she ran out in front of a semi.
Right. My last like little thing that made me sad, I put Rip Tiny.
Yep.
And here's the thing on this, because I know most of the time movies are filmed usually starting with the last scene. So did he plan to have Tiny die in this movie, or were things a little reworked and reshot? Because if you watch, he puts them all in the car, and then Otis says, "Are you sure?" And Tiny nods, and it shows his face, so we know it's the actor who unfortunately passed away.
Before this movie released.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he's like, "We'll be back for you." And Tiny waves by and then walks up the stairs to the house. Well, then here's where my weirdness comes in. We see him walk upstairs to the house and go in, but where the scene cuts and they're pulling away in the car, you only see a weird explosion in the background. Like, it's not
Right.
real focused on,
Yeah.
which makes me think that they had a plan for Tiny to return.
He was supposed to come with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see
And
that.
in the third movie, because at this point he already had a trilogy deal. So my idea on it was that he knew Tiny was going to return in the third movie, but he unfortunately passed. So last minute editing, they made the house blow up in the background, because it does not look normal. It does not look like the house was meant to blow up. It looks like it kind of was chopped in.
Yeah.
Are you sure he wasn't like sick or anything, and they knew that he wasn't going to be in the third movie?
I don't know.
Plus, the third one, as we now know, took a fuck ton of time to get made.
Yes.
But we'll get into all that
In
next
the third
next
one.
time. Yeah, in the third one.
But I don't know. I don't know what the
I'm not sure. I
outcome
have no
was.
idea.
But-
Didn't they film it in 2005 and he died in 2005?
I think it was like 2004 they shot it.
They
'Cause
shot
it's
it probably the
usually-
year before. Yeah.
Because
And
I
then
think
died.
he died like 3 weeks before it came out.
Yeah. So like I'm saying, it could have been a real quick edit. I don't know. That happens all the time.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Thanks, Zack Snyder.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Obviously, I wouldn't have been upset if Tiny came with them. He's like my favorite one.
No, I think he was great.
Yeah, he's a fucking badass.
He doesn't have a single line, and he's just like this giant dude who ends up saving the day at the end. you
He's
know?
real imposing.
So I was really excited about that.
That's a good question actually.
You know?
I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
I don't
I didn't
know.
think about it like
But
that.
Rip Tiny.
But Rip Tiny.
I have a wrap up before we go into our scores here, but I want to.
Let's talk about the ending.
I feel like I've been talking a lot compared to you.
How do you feel about the ending?
Garbage. Wow. Absolute garbage. I mean, this. I feel like we're gonna start kind of rolling into the ratings at this point, but it's not what I expected.
Okay.
And I think that's what the problem with this movie was, is I had a really high expectation because I was a little let down with the first movie. So I was like, oh, man, they made a second one. And I already knew ahead of time watching because I've never seen Rejects.
This is your first?
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen Corpses, but I never saw Rejects. And obviously we haven't seen Three from Hell.
Yeah,
none of us have.
None of the three of us
none
have
of
seen
us
it.
have. So, so I had really high expectations for this movie, and the ending, I don't know. I know there's a third movie coming out, so to show them getting blasted apart and everything,
Well, yeah.
it was the same thing like with the first movie where it was like the end ? Like what's gonna happen? Obviously they fucking live. We know they're gonna come back at some point.
But were we aware that there was going to be a third one?
No.
If we were aware, I still don't think that this movie ending was very well done. I would have liked to see again something that has to reflect. Yeah, their house is burning down, but I feel like if Otis is as satanic and like doing these things for rituals as he was, I feel like he would have embraced that and been like, we're gonna either rebuild or we're gonna do something as ritual wise.
But they have to get out of there because the cops are still after them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they just killed Big Boy Bad Cop in the middle of the night.
Still
I don't know. There's plot holes all over the
that
fucking place on this, and that's just my opinion.
That's true also. But I think for the longest time I was under the impression usually when you don't have a movie, a third movie come out for what's that? When did Three from Hell come out? Like 2019?
Easily Googleable.
I'm pretty sure it was 2019.
Googleable.
So what? Jesus Christ!
Yeah, I can't speak.
That. But what's that? 14 years after the
2019.
So safe to say, I didn't think Three from Hell would ever happen.
Yeah.
That's why I think the ending to this was so good for so long. Was it's like how else? What other outcome are these people gonna get?
And not to just talk about Three from Hell for a minute, even though we don't know anything about this movie, it had a $3 million budget and it only made 2.2 in the box office.
Okay.
So
I think it went straight to DVD.
Really? No, it was released in theaters.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Are
because
you
my buddy
sure?
listen.
Yeah, but that was just like a feature thing. That wasn't. It didn't seem like it was.
Because I don't remember it. I remember it hitting Blu-ray.
There it is.
Right,
Dude, box office.
Right, but
Numbers.
that's probably because it had a real limited release, is what I'm saying.
It could have been.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it.
Oh, here we go. It was in a 3-night theatrical engagement through the Phantom events from September 16th to the 18th, and then it grossed $2 million from the one-night release on October 14th.
That
is not bad.
Yeah. So $2 million in one night on a release. Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure that's the same model he did with that 31, the one he made before that, where it was like.
Have you seen 31?
I've seen bits of it.
We just bought it today.
Okay.
It was
so
like
we're
$4
gonna be
at
watching
Walmart.
it.
Okay. Well, we should put it on the list.
Yeah, we definitely
'cause
should.
I hear that one's pretty wild as well.
Anyways, what did you think of the ending?
I like the ending. I
Yeah?
really do. I think the brutal them getting shot, and it's not like cartoonish and comical, and you can tell like this is all they got. This is all we got. It's all or nothing. We're going down either way.
Okay.
Let's go out swinging, and I think this is a great ending for Captain Spaulding, and not the 5 seconds that he's in the next one. We'll get into that next time.
Yes.
But I think as a whole for these characters, this was the best outcome, I think. And like I said, that's what I thought for the longest time. And so just looking at this movie, because it's hard once another movie comes out to not
knowing
do
like,
that.
oh well, they live anyway,
Right.
so who cares?
But imagining this is the end, I think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think?
It dragged on a little bit too long.
It definitely did.
For sure, but like Luke said,
like 4
it would be a
minutes of
good
slow
ending
motion.
to the movie because it's just so the whole movie, it's a horror movie, it's unrealistic, but it's just so unrealistic that these people could kill so many people and continue to get away with it, and then also escape the cops multiple times, and then again they get roadblocked, and then they escape the cops again, so it was nice that
That would have been a real cheap.
Yeah, it was. I liked that they were like on a relaxing drive and like all dreaming of like
Happier
the
times
videotape.
with them,
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh shit, the cops are here. Like the cops are blocking the road.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but that shooting part did last way too long.
Yeah. My final wrap-up notes just on here was like it's too much camera shake during all of the torture, smacking, and whipping scenes that end up giving me a nausea effect.
Okay.
And it does not help that the slow motion effects that are overused again in this movie made me super dizzy to watch. This ending scene was atrocious.
Wow.
I mean, it just dragged on and dragged on and dragged on for slow motion time. That's too fucking long.
Shit, I love the song that's going on too. Right when
Freebird.
what's that?
Freebird.
What's that called? The climax of the song.
Yeah.
Happens right when they start moving.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
So here on Pick It or Flick It,
How do we rate movies, Vox?
we do two things when we
What
rate
are those
movies.
two things?
We either give it a nice number suggesting that you should watch it, or a bad number suggesting that you probably shouldn't waste your time on this, as well as
The most important.
the most important, Pick It or Flick It. Pick It being
Wait a minute, that's the name of the show.
well, wrong. It's Pick It and Flick It.
Well, it's in the title.
I know. I just busted.
God,
your balls
Flick it
I-
and or flick it.
My corrections have come back to haunt me.
Oh my God. Pick it meaning yes, you should pick this movie to sit down and watch, or flick it, throwing that bitch right out the window.
Like you do a nice fat boogie.
Booger right on the ground.
On the ground, you fucking heathen.
Yeah, in
Put
public.
it in the
just-
trash can.
on the
It's
wall.
biodegradable.
Yeah, it'll break down. Who's starting? Who wants to start?
I will.
Okay.
I would pick it. I liked a lot of the background that we got to see. And like I've said, I feel like I've already said this on this podcast. I like to know the background and know the origin stories of things, and it was cool to kind of see how they got their names, and that Captain Spaulding wasn't just made up, and it was from an actual animal cracker.
I don't know.
Marks or something. Yeah.
Something.
Food.
Anyway, yeah. So that was could, and it was just a different format than the first movie.
Yeah.
What's your number rating?
I'd say 7 out of 10.
Is what'd you give the last one? 7?
6.
6? Okay. Luke.
Well, I would also give this movie a big fat pick.
But Luke, you gave the first movie a flick.
Because I don't really like the first one as much as I like this one.
Oh, you mean you're treating this as an individual movie, not a storyline?
I know.
that
How
continues?
dare me?
Oh my God.
But yeah, in terms of this movie, it's my favorite of the trilogy.
So far.
So far, I doubt from what I've heard about the third one, but we'll say until that's we'll put a little asterisk there, I guess.
Sure.
If that's subject to change, we'll let you know. But in terms of numbers, I'd give this 8 on a good day. But normally I'd also give this a 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking piss people off, man.
It looks like that's what's going to happen.
This movie blew for me.
Wow.
It was long and boring, and the scenes that were full of action really let me down with how either A, over the top disturbing that it didn't need to be, or B, the lack of actual practical and uses of real life things and subsequent for CGI, which really made me mad. I'm going to flick this one. It is not, to me, something that needs to be watched, especially if you liked the first one, and I'm going to give it a fat 5 out of 10.
Well, look at that. That's a complete.
That's not even that bad, though.
Yeah, about halfway. So it's really funny, Luke, that the last...
We literally,
basically
yeah, you and
flip-flopped.
I.
Yeah.
Well, you're just you're an edgelord. That's the problem.
I get there.
Is you like Rob Zombie's angst, and his
do.
first movie is full of his angst.
Yeah,
and
we talked about that last
that's-
episode.
yeah.
I really do like Rob Zombie. I'm a fan of Rob Zombie.
I like
you
Rob
know?
Zombie also. I've always liked his music.
Yeah, I like his music.
It's very strange.
I like his
That's
style.
one of his songs.
Dragula
Yeah.
is his most popular. Is that his most popular?
Probably one of his most popular, or Thunder Kiss.
Living
1965.
Dead Girl is a good one.
Living Dead Girl.
No.
Dan. All of his songs sound the same.
Can we get a full song cover from Vox Adams?
No. Tosh, give us a closeout.
Luke, you say something first.
Luke, give me something positive.
Always flick your boogers. since apparently Vox is throwing them on the ground, let's let them know.
Fuck it.
You guys can't skelly run from my skelly puns.
That joke was scary.
I'm over it. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're there. We didn't say that last episode, but who gives a shit?
Oh no.
Just go back and listen to it again.
Yeah,
and
we got a whole bunch of Halloween themed podcasts. So
Yeah,
if you're into that,
We're chugging it out.
yeah,
We're
we
trying.
got some good ones.
This is number 9.
Yeah.
So, okay, bye.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Ah.